Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star 2 Land of Origin based on novel. So let's start. Royal capital, deep within the palace. Sai, Emperor of Tien Kuan, arrived and sat on the grand throne in the enormous hall. Yi Xiu, prepare a large portion of food. Emperor of Tien Kuan immediately issued an order through telepathy. Having served Di Yang for an era, he dared not be distracted by devouring countless creatures and had long held back his hunger fiercely. Yes, my lord. Soon, Emperor of Tien Kuan's most loyal subordinate, Yi Xiu Great Saint, presented the prepared food in a transparent bottle, imprisoning billions of creatures. As a cultivator in the primal chaos realm and due to his unwavering loyalty and meticulous work, the task of harvesting countless creatures regularly was handled by Yi Xiu Great Saint. He led a secret army specialized in capturing countless creatures. My lord, a large portion of food includes about 3,000 eternal true gods, 50 million true gods of void space, 50 trillion true gods, and 30 trillion lesser beings not yet at the true god level, all within this food bottle, Yi Xiu Great Saint respectfully reported. Emperor of Tien Kuan looked at the over 80 billion creatures inside the transparent bottle, nodding with satisfaction. Even ruling the vast Sha kingdom, accumulating such a large portion of food was not easy. The tribes of the Sha kingdom lived in the wilderness, hiding in the most secluded places, and the eternal true gods were often the core backbone of many large cities. Capturing such a massive scale, even covertly throughout the entire range of the Sha kingdom, was no easy task. Very well. Emperor of Tien Kuan looked at the transparent bottle and felt the primordial bloodline within him boiling, craving for the countless lives. Yet the over 80 billion creatures inside the bottle had no idea that a terrifying existence outside was about to utterly devour them. Emperor of Tien Kuan reached out and grabbed the bottle. Suddenly, Emperor of Tien Kuan felt everything before his eyes disappear. He lost all physical senses, only seeing a vast and enormous constellation forming. This massive constellation was spinning. He could see every process, but he had no way to dodge. It seemed slow, yet it was so fast it was merely a momentary flicker of the spirit. A flicker of the spirit, impossible to evade, too late to use the reincarnation secret technique. All he could do was take it head on, survive, and he lives. Fail, and he dies. This rolling constellation was terrifyingly formidable, even more so than Di Yang whom he served. It was the most terrifying force Emperor of Tien Kuan had seen in his long years. He hadn't even begun to defend when he intuitively knew he couldn't block it. No. The constellation rolled, crushing over his spiritual will. His spiritual will was instantly crushed to dust, and under the sweeping roll of the constellation, not even a trace was left. In an instant, his spiritual will was completely annihilated. A dominant figure on the land of origin, the renowned Emperor of Tien Kuan, was now just a corpse. He was dead. His death was so sudden, so utterly without the capability to resist. Inside this enormous hall, the Emperor of Tien Kuan still sat there, reaching out to grab the transparent bottle. However, the fervor in his eyes had completely faded, leaving them utterly dull. Boom tilde tilde tilde. The moment he died, the Emperor of Tien Kuan's body naturally began to reveal its true form. Sigh. An invisible wave swept over, collecting the bodies of the Emperor of Tien Kuan, Yi Xiu Great Saint, and the transparent bottle. Under Luo Feng's terrifying spiritual will, even a slight involvement completely obliterated Yi Xiu Great Saint's spiritual consciousness. Firstly, allowing Yi Xiu to live and witness the death of the Emperor of Tien Kuan might enable outsiders to deduce a lot of information. Secondly, as a minion of the Emperor of Tien Kuan who had long been capturing countless creatures, Luo Feng felt no mercy. Although the Emperor of Tien Kuan was not as mad as the ancestral god of the Snow Realm, he ruled over a much broader Sha kingdom, and the number of creatures who died by his hand is probably far more than those who perished under the ancestral god. The 80 billion plus creatures in that transparent bottle made Luo Feng more aware of how much catastrophe peaking beings from the land of origin could cause once they turn malevolent. The stronger the power, even if only harvesting a small portion within their dominion, the numbers could be many times those of the ancestral god. My current strength already allows me to change parts of the land of origin. Of course, for now, I can only change a part. To completely change it, to establish my own rules, I need to be even stronger. Luo Feng knew this path was difficult because under the limit of the supreme rules, the might of maneuvers had an upper limit in the ultimate realm. Even with his own formidable powers, he couldn't exceed this limit, meaning his impact on emperors and monarchs was limited. Emperors and monarchs decided the order of the entire land of origin. To alter the order of the land of origin, many of the emperors and monarchs from the two ancient countries might not tolerate it. Cultivators, with their own power, surpass heaven and earth. To change the fates of countless creatures in the land of origin is part of my cultivation. If I cannot even achieve this, how can I talk about surpassing heaven and earth? Seeing the 80 billion plus creatures in the transparent bottle and witnessing the various darknesses in his travels around the land of origin, Luo Feng's resolve was unbreakable. He was not strong enough yet, so he temporarily hid his claws. Once strong enough, he would reveal his claws and tear through this veil of darkness. Wuxiang City and Sword Demon City in Shi Kingdom were attacked simultaneously. To ensure the killing of the Emperor of Qian Kuan was foolproof, Luo Feng first concentrated all his efforts against the Emperor of Qian Kuan. After all, the other two Wuxiang ancestors and ancestor of Blade Demon were only at the first realm of Godly King, and even using the curse-killing technique, Luo Feng was confident he could annihilate them. The moment the Emperor of Qian Kuan died, Luo Feng's two other avatars acted simultaneously. Wuxiang ancestor and ancestor of Blade Demon had no time to react, instantly dying without resistance under Luo Feng's terrifying spiritual will. Collect. Luo Feng also took the bodies of these two godly kings. In Huyang City, within the quiet room of the city owner's mansion, Star Tower. Luo Feng and mountain-sitting guest both came to one of the layers in Star Tower, where the true bodies of the three rulers from Shi Kingdom were laid out, all of their bodies intact but their spiritual consciousnesses completely annihilated. They are dead. Mountain-sitting guest observed the bodies carefully. The body of the Emperor of Qian Kuan was immensely vast, hundreds of millions of kilometers in length, with tough, thick scale armor. He cultivated the origin Tao of matter, tapping into the potential of the primordial bloodline, making his body far tougher and more terrifying than Luo Feng's early 10 directions world form world life body, normally giving him enough time to use the reincarnation secret technique even if emperors and monarchs attacked. But this time, he couldn't reincarnate. No matter how strong his physical body was, it couldn't help him against a technique aimed wholly at the spiritual will. Only reaching the ultimate realm life form and achieving perfection could he resist some attacks on spiritual will. As for the God King grade secret treasure, the Emperor of Qian Kuan had no power to obtain it. In the land of origin, there were not many such secret treasures, and lacking the power to possess such treasures, one would only invite disaster. With strength like that of Emperor Gui Shu, owning such treasures in his previous life had brought great calamity. He had not reached the ultimate realm life form, had not resisted the God King grade secret treasure of spiritual will. He was utterly no match for Luo Feng. Will beyond God King level, and then activate the Lai Yuan technique again. None of them managed to reincarnate. Mountain-sitting guest couldn't help but ask, Qian Kuan, not in time either? I'm sure. Luo Feng nodded. The moment I used the secret technique of willpower, he died. He simply had no time to reincarnate. Secret technique of willpower? Mountain-sitting guest nodded slightly. Luo Feng had not concealed it from him. The willpower displayed was indeed vast and mighty, and felt as though it could crush the godly kings with the slightest pressure. Indeed, indeed. Mountain-sitting guest, touching the scale armor of the massive corpse of the Emperor of Qian Kuan, then looked toward the corpses of the Wuxiang ancestor and the ancestor of Blade Demon beside. At this moment, mountain-sitting guest seemed to see those familiar figures. Jin, sister. The once young boy, seeing the dazzling genius sister in his sect for the first time, was nervous and tense. Jin, master has ordered, from now on, you will follow me. I will teach you on behalf of master. Okay. Jin, you've reached primal chaos realm. Even faster than me. Sister, would you like to walk the path of cultivation with me? The youth, now a primal chaos realm, voiced the desire he had harbored for long. Sister smiled happily, nodding through tears. From now on, we walk the cultivation path together. Jin state was established. Although it was a third-rate frontier small state, it was still an unprecedented achievement for the entire sect. God King Jin, with his artifact refining skills, also became famed all around. Our Jin has become the monarch, Sister said proudly. You have already surpassed all the predecessors of the sect. God King Jin smiled slightly. He needed to become even stronger, walk further in the path of cultivation with Sister, and lead the younger brothers and sisters and the sect further. Mountain-sitting guest faintly saw those familiar figures, his brothers and sisters who admired him immensely, the love of his lifetime. It was the world that haunted his dreams. I've taken revenge, I've avenged you all, mountain-sitting guest whispered softly. Fled into the universe ocean. With endless hatred and reluctance, he entered the depths of the universe ocean. Forced to reincarnate within the primordial cosmos. The long years. Until today, mountain-sitting guest, looking at the three massive corpses before him, suddenly felt a bit dazed. The goal he had always pursued was completed, yet he didn't know how to proceed. How I wish I could return to the past, mountain-sitting guest said in the moment of successful revenge, not feeling the satisfaction of avenging a great wrong, but an endless nostalgia instead. Luo Feng silently watched from the side. He felt the surge and changes of emotions in his master. Even his master's powerful spiritual will needed time to adapt. Finally, mountain-sitting guest calmed completely. He turned his head to look at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, thank you, mountain-sitting guest smiled faintly. At this moment, I am without regrets. Teacher, you have helped me immensely. It is I who should say thank you, Luo Feng said. Mountain-sitting guest pointed to the three massive corpses. Forget about the other two, but the Emperor of Tianquan had a renowned reputation. His sudden death will definitely attract the attention and investigation of major powers. These three corpses must be destroyed utterly, otherwise they could reveal much information from being examined. I know, Luo Feng nodded. These three corpses will not appear from Star Tower again. Killing felt satisfying, but there will be a lot of investigation afterward. Especially since the Emperor of Tianquan and several emperors of the Flame-Wind ancient country have very good relations, you must be careful, mountain-sitting guest advised. I'm all prepared, Luo Feng nodded. You now far surpass my strength, and your considerations are definitely more meticulous than mine, mountain-sitting guest smiled and nodded. Well, I should leave now. Teacher, are you going back? Back to Thunder ancient country? Luo Feng asked. From now on, I will focus on studying artifact refining and primordial bloodline, living my own peaceful days. Mountain-sitting guest looked at Luo Feng. If you ever need anything, just let me know. Okay, Luo Feng nodded. I'll see you out. Luo Feng personally escorted mountain-sitting guest out of Star Tower, even to the border of Thunder ancient country, then watched as mountain-sitting guest left. Teacher. Luo Feng sensed mountain-sitting guest's change. The past mountain-sitting guest always harbored a strong spiritual obsession, but today, that obsession was gone, he had completely let go. This grand causality had entangled the teacher for countless years. This major causality had also shaped himself. Teacher, I hope you enjoy your days ahead, Luo Feng silently said. He also decided, unless necessary, not to disturb the teacher's peaceful days anymore. Huyang City, city owner's mansion, atop the tower. Luo Feng sat alone, drinking wine. Three kings of Shi Kingdom suddenly died, especially the Emperor of Tianquan, a powerhouse at that level, suddenly dying. The two ancient countries will definitely investigate carefully. Now, let's see what they're capable of. The outcome of the investigation by the two ancient countries would also determine his own course of action. What? They all died? Out of the 5 god kings in Shi Kingdom, only Liuyu God King and Kufeng God King, who were alive, could confirm through causality that the 3 more powerful kings of Shi Kingdom were all dead. This baffled them. 3 died instantly, while the 2 weaker god kings were still alive. Eta King's capital. A figure of white light appeared in the Eta King's capital, his entire body composed of white light, gazing down expressionlessly at the city, and at this moment, the entire city had turned grey, with all creatures motionless. The entire world seemed to have paused. The white light figure walked through the paused Eta King's capital, entering the palace, then the Grand Hall. The Emperor of Tien Kuan was sitting there. Yi Xiu Great Saint was respectfully presenting a food bottle. The white light figure watched the scene, with a flicker of thought, and behind him, a massive flow of sand began to move slowly, and everything around him started to come alive. The Emperor of Tien Kuan reached for the food bottle, when suddenly, the eyes of the Emperor of Tien Kuan and Yi Xiu Great Saint dimmed. Instant annihilation, no chance to resist. The Emperor of Tien Kuan probably didn't have time to reincarnate, observed the white light figure. Is it a secret technique of willpower? Or an attack targeting the soul? The supreme rules of the land of origin restrict all power limit. Whether it's energy type, material type, causality type, willpower type, there are limits to power. Within the limits of power, to achieve this step, there are no more than 10 in the entire land of origin, pondered the white light figure. This Emperor of Tien Kuan has always been very cautious. Although he is domineering towards surrounding countries, he never dares to offend truly powerful beings. Who killed him? And also, simultaneously killed 3 kings of Sha Kingdom? Could it be related to a vendetta against all 3 kings? Pondered the white light figure. Time continued to pass. The bodies of the Emperor of Tien Kuan and Yi Xiu Great Saint, including numerous creatures in the food bottle, all disappeared. He performed techniques of either soul type or willpower type. He must be close by. The white light figure flew above the entire royal capital and began to carefully examine all creatures within the vicinity during this period. The white light figure's eyes lit up. He fully activated an ancestor's bestowed treasure, and the vast sandy shadow behind him rapidly expanded and spread, covering the entirety of the royal capital almost instantly. Buzz! 2 previously elusive figures became visible under the shadow of the sand. A man in a black robe with long hair, wearing a golden mask, stood above the royal capital, coldly looking toward the palace direction. Beside him was an old man with no signs of life, clearly discernible as a puppet. The white light figure was startled and closely observed the black-robed man with the golden mask. Even from observing traces from the past, the white light figure felt the deep and unfathomable aura of the black-robed man, and it exuded a strange, immense fear, giving him a fright. Such an appearance, such aura, never seen before. The white light figure was secretly alarmed. Land of origin, how did such a terrifying existence emerge? As one of the 9 monarchs of the Thunder Ancient Country, the Skylight Monarch, there were very few strong people he did not know about. Previously, there was only that mysterious strong man from the Shadow Sky realm, possessing Emperor-level combat power, whose identity no one knew. And now there was another. He took that bottle, and there are countless creatures inside the bottle, which can be traced through their causality. Perhaps there will be discoveries. The white light figure tried to trace his steps. He looked at the food bottle, saw some creatures in it and thus naturally produced causality. Small cultivators couldn't hide causality, and by utilizing causality tracing, discoveries were to be made. All these weak cultivators have been released into the wild, regaining their freedom. The white light figure was somewhat surprised. It seems this mysterious strong man is quite compassionate towards the weak. The white light figure shook his head slightly. Having traced this far, it was hard to investigate further. This mysterious strong person also carries a puppet servant, observed the white light figure as he also examined the old man next to the black-robed man with the golden mask. The elder transformed into a puppet, showing no traces to investigate. Bringing out a servant to handle matters, how odd. The white luminescent figure smiled and then quickly departed. Across the entire land of origin, the 2 ancient countries jointly established order. Anything that might threaten this order, they meticulously investigated. Currently, their focus was on the hidden 3 alien race powerhouses as well as 5 formidable figures including the Wind City Empress and the Mother River Master. Today, they discovered that another mysterious powerhouse demanded their attention. Emperor I went to the past timeline, and the culprit should be this man in a black robe and golden mask, D.I. Jofeng reported, revealing the scene he had investigated. Emperor D.I. watched closely. He also has a puppet servant, D.I. Jofeng continued. It's certain he's not in the ultimate realm, nor does he possess any time-space related secret treasures, hence my ability to detect him. However, his strength must be terrifying. Quite extraordinary. Emperor D.I. observed the black-robed, golden-masked figure, feeling an immense dread that would even alarm emperors and monarchs. Who knows where this powerful being came from? Di Jiufeng shook his head. He feels more terrifying than the 5 Earth God Kings. Emperor Di nodded. There are a decent number of beings at the peak of second level of God King realm in the land of origin. They just lack resources. It might be one of them who crossed that threshold due to gaining some resources. Judging by how he killed the Emperor of Qiankuan, he likely specializes in soul-based or willpower-based techniques, Di Jiufeng explained. In other words, below emperors and monarchs, he could likely kill instantly. He's much more terrifying than the 5 Earth God Kings. Indeed, nodded Emperor Di, he conceals his identity and does not seem to want to openly confront the 2 ancient countries yet. Emperor Di, can you divine his identity through fate? Di Jiufeng asked. I can't, Emperor Di shook his head. Calculating fate also requires sufficient information. This mysterious figure has given us too little to work with. Di Jiufeng gave a slight nod. Even my flame-wind ancient country tried everything, yet couldn't kill the Mother River Master. This mysterious powerhouse seems even more difficult to handle. Even the 2 ancient countries might not be able to deal with him, Emperor Di chuckled. Not being able to find out his identity might even be a good thing. Not being able to flee like the Mother River Master doesn't mean this particular person can too, Di Jiufeng remarked. Emperor Di said no more. Di Jiufeng also then departed. Who are you? Emperor Di, curious, looked at the mysterious figure clad in a black robe and golden mask. Are you Pu Xin? Luo He? Or perhaps Emperor Ming? There indeed aren't many from the land of origin who could reach this level in terms of soul or willpower techniques. Yet, based on many aspects, Emperor Di truly had 3 suspects. Pu Xin, a mysterious and low-profile god king in the second realm, rarely involved in conflicts, occasionally accepting disciples in the illusory realm. Among his disciples are 2 other god kings of the second realm, including the Wuxin god king. Luo He, at the stage of primal chaos realm, was already in the ultimate realm of God King in terms of willpower, and Emperor Di has been observing Luo He. Emperor Ming, as the highest achiever in willpower in the land of origin, his willpower strength had long reached the upper limit set by the supreme rules. Moreover, he had also received the legacy left by Yuan and has been obsessively studying catastrophe beasts as well as other images of primordial life. Emulating some of the dread associated with primordial life was easy for him. Who could it be? Pu Xin, have you been biding your time until now to make a move? Emperor Di was curious, or the terrifyingly potential Luo He? Or perhaps the unimaginably dreadful Emperor Ming? Nothing Emperor Ming does would surprise Emperor Di. Even if Emperor Ming completely killed 7 or 8 emperors, causing a massacre throughout the land of origin, Emperor Di would find it normal. Because this fits Emperor Ming very well. Emperor Ming and catastrophe beasts are quite alike. Once he shows his true colors, he doesn't hesitate to kill all his comrade. In Huyang City, at the city owner's mansion, Luo Feng regularly ordered detailed intelligence on the Emperor of Qiankuan from the Flame-Wind Pavilion, and he had just received a report, albeit a rather costly one. Flame-Wind Pavilion, did they find out who killed the Emperor of Qiankuan? Luo Feng scrutinized the information. The report contained a segment of footage. A man in a black robe and golden mask with long hair, along with an old puppet man. An unknown mysterious powerhouse? With a puppet. Luo Feng laughed. The changes that are formless and intangible are indeed hard to decipher within the range of the supreme rules. The detailed cause of the Emperor of Qiankuan's death, requiring an additional payment of 1 billion cosmic sand? Luo Feng did not make the purchase. He was quite aware that since they could capture his image, they must know the body of the Emperor of Qiankuan was intact. It could be deduced that the attack targeted the soul or the mind. Luo He, the Yu Shui country master communicated, you know about the Emperor of Qiankuan's death, don't you? Of course, I know, Luo Feng responded. Flamewind Pavilion and Thunderclap Commerce are publicly selling the intelligence, saying it was a soul-based or will-based attack that killed the Emperor of Qiankuan, and it looks like the Emperor of Qiankuan couldn't even reincarnate, the Yu Shui country master excitedly communicated. This mysterious powerhouse, below emperors and monarchs, could probably kill instantly. Brother Yu Shui, you seem rather pleased with the disaster, Luo Feng remarked. The ancestors of both countries, the ancestor of the East Extreme Domain, Emperor Qing, Lord of 10,000 Realms, Sector Beast, Emperor Ming. There are quite a few in the land of origin who could instantly kill us. One more doesn't make much difference, the Yu Shui country master laughed. I'm happy because the Emperor of Tian Kuan is truly dead, probably couldn't even reincarnate, and it's really exhilarating. Since Shi Kingdom and Yu Kingdom are neighbors, the Emperor of Tian Kuan and the Yu Shui country master had fought for too long. Luo He, your controlled territory is near Shi Kingdom, and now that Shi Kingdom is leaderless, you could completely seize the entire Shi Kingdom, the Yu Shui country master transmitted. I'll definitely support you fully. Thank you to the 3 new alliance hierarchs who supported, Book Friend Corpses, Book Friend 202407201337477580, and Devour Forever. Occupy the Shi Kingdom? Luo Feng revealed a smile. I indeed have such a plan. Upon hearing this, the Yu Shui country master immediately chuckled. Haha. Luo He, when you were at the first realm of Godly King, you were already undaunted by the Emperor of Tian Kuan. Now that you've reached the second realm of Godly King, in terms of the multitude of methods at your disposal, you are even above the Emperor of Tian Kuan. If you occupy the Shi Kingdom, I believe other powerhouses won't dare to compete. A territory of a second-rate country, the mere display of a portion of Luo Feng's power qualified him to take it over. Don't rush. Luo Feng responded, the 3 sovereigns of the Shi Kingdom have just died. If I immediately occupy the Shi Kingdom, I fear it may draw the attention of that black-robed, golden-masked powerhouse. Once he is displeased, that would be trouble. Right, that mysterious powerhouse who single-handedly killed the 3 sovereigns of the Shi Kingdom must have had a vendetta with the 3 sovereigns of Shi Kingdom, Yu Shui country master said in agreement. Right now, various forces are also watching over the Shi Kingdom. Indeed, it is not suitable to make a move immediately. Let's wait for a day, said Luo Feng. We'll act after one day, which can be seen as a sign of respect to that mysterious powerhouse. A day. There might be unforeseen changes, Yu Shui country master said worriedly. Such a vast territory could attract other ancient godly kings to make a move. To occupy such a vast territory is not easy. Luo Feng was very patient. He was the one who had killed the 3 sovereigns of the Shi Kingdom. Having just killed, then to immediately take over the Shi Kingdom, that could increase the suspicion on himself. Luo Feng was not clear about the investigatory methods of the 2 grand ancient countries. According to previous intelligence, both ancient countries had strong abilities to investigate the past and to deduce the secrets of heaven, and they might already suspect him. Although Luo Feng was prepared for exposure, it would naturally be better if it happened later. The later the exposure, the deeper his preparations, the easier it would be to deal with danger. I have already exchanged for the special grade inheritance world life form and chaotic whole beast body in the second realm of Godly King. I must also properly comprehend it to increase my own accumulation. Luo Feng valued special grade inheritance highly. Upper-class inheritances like 8 Tribulations life form and extermination of 72 blades were still too simple for him. Only some extremely difficult secret techniques from the special grade inheritance could better temper his comprehension. I also don't know if the 2 grand ancient countries will discover me. Luo Feng was sensing in all directions with the aid of Star Tower, feeling the countless disciples within the Blade River sect, sensing the innumerable populace within Huyang City. If only for relying on the 24-phase form world life, the will beyond God King level, and numerous avatars. Luo Feng would be more cautious in his actions. He might even exchange for a beyond God King level secret treasure from the infinite space to protect himself. Without Star Tower, he was barely on par with an emperor. Although he had the advantage of will, an emperor typically possessed more than one secret treasure beyond God King level. But with Star Tower, Luo Feng was calmly prepared even for exposure. The more he researched Star Tower, the clearer Luo Feng became on the dreadful might of Star Tower. Within the boundaries of Thunder Ancient Country, inside an ancient hall, 3 figures were seated separately. I invited you 2 here today because there is a favor I need to ask, a huge figure with silver-white fur said while sitting there. Silver Moon God King, you have something to ask of us? The other 2 figures were somewhat surprised. The figure with silver fur had a profound look in his eyes and said indifferently, "As you both know, just now, the 3 sovereigns of the Shi kingdom died. That black-robed, golden-masked powerhouse is extremely terrifying. Any monarch below would probably be powerless against him." The 2 powerhouses also understood the situation, knowing how formidable the murderer was. "That powerhouse, his strength far exceeds ours, not someone we can provoke," the figure with the silver fur said, "but the Shi kingdom is now without a master, and it is an opportune time to occupy." "Silver Moon, are you going to leave Thunder Ancient Country?" The 2 powerhouses were surprised. The Silver Moon God King, a guest elder God King of Thunder Ancient Country, had served for countless years. "I have never completely joined Thunder Ancient Country," the figure with silver fur said. "I have loyally served them for countless years, yet many troublesome tasks were assigned to me. My true body has been devoured by those madmen more than once." Thunder Ancient Country's half-out-of-control monarch-level powerhouses numbered 3. When lucid, Thunder Ancient Country would let them roam. These monarchs needed minions when they were out, and the royal family god kings would hide, so the guest elder god kings had to obediently be minions. Silver Moon God King was strong enough and as a guest elder, had followed more than one half-out-of-control monarch. When a monarch went mad, driven by the craving of the primordial bloodline, they would devour all living creatures in the vicinity. At the very least, Silver Moon God King was able to resist for a moment or two, enough time to revive back via a resurrection carrier. "I've had enough." The figure with silver fur shook his head. "I've decided to take over the territory of the Shi kingdom and live freely. No longer will I suffer in Thunder Ancient Country. I also invite both of you, my good friends. You are both adept with avatars. Each of you sends an avatar. I'll give each of you 10 Chaos Hole prefectures." The 2 powerhouses looked at each other. Being adept at avatars was quite advantageous. Even the locations they could hold could be numerous. "Okay. Fine," both agreed cheerfully. On one hand, they would each have 10 more Chaos Hole prefectures, and on the other hand, they were willing to befriend Silver Moon God King. Silver Moon God King had on numerous occasions served the half-out-of-control monarchs, which indirectly proved his strength. In direct combat, he was on par with the Emperor of Tien Kuan, but regarding life force, he was considerably stronger than the Emperor of Tien Kuan. "When do we act?" The 2 powerhouses looked at Silver Moon God King. "As soon as dawn breaks, we'll move." Silver Moon God King looked outside. Surviving this night can also be seen as a sign of respect to that mysterious powerhouse. With the death of the 3 sovereigns of Shi Kingdom, Kufeng God King was scared into a frantic escape, while Liuyu God King couldn't escape in time due to her weak strength. None of the major forces in the land of origin cared for her. Shi Kingdom temporarily lacked a ruler. Shi Kingdom, now boasting a whole 135 primal chaos prefectures, was considered quite sizable even among second-tier kingdoms, naturally attracting numerous overlord-level beings. Asterisk 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 asterisk. As night passed, dawn began to break. Panic spread throughout the Eta King's capital, where the cultivators were well informed of news. Knowing about the death of the 3 kings, they were naturally concerned that a great struggle would ensue. A clash at the godly king level, even a mere ripple of it, would turn them to dust. At this moment, they could only feel uneasy and anxious, waiting apprehensively. Some cultivators had even temporarily left the royal capital. Whoosh! A massive figure appeared above the royal capital. It was covered in silvery white fur, and its size was comparable to the true body of the Emperor of Tien Kuan. Its fluffy tail seemed to extend to the very end of the world. Its eyes were many times larger than the entire royal capital. From this moment on, Shi Kingdom shall be renamed Silver Moon Country. I, Silver Moon God King, along with Sea Demon God King and Tianyi God King, will rule the entire Silver Moon Country together. This silvery figure's voice boomed, echoing throughout the entire territory of Shi Kingdom. Behind the figure of silvery fur stood 2 other figures. One was a figure condensed from endless water flows, and the other a vast ethereal figure. It took the Emperor of Tien Kuan long years to claim such a vast territory. The Silver Moon Wolf King wanted to pick the ripe fruits, but worried he wouldn't be intimidating enough on his own. Hence, he brought along the Sea Demon God King and Tianyi God King, who had avatars. Their joint forces naturally commanded a much greater deterrent power. Ha ha ha, Silver Moon God King, a mere guest elder from Thunder Ancient Country, crossing over half the land of origin to conquer Sha Kingdom? A laughter sounded. Two figures emerged from the void. Silver Moon God King, Sea Demon God King, and Tianyi God King looked over. "I, Cold Forest Country, am adjacent to Sha Kingdom," said a towering bald figure coldly. "Sha Kingdom should belong to Cold Forest Country." "Cold Forest Country, Lord?" The three God Kings, Silver Moon God King, Sea Demon God King, and Tianyi God King, didn't take much notice of the Cold Forest Country Lord, whose strength was relatively mediocre within the second realm of Godly King. The only thing he had to brag about was that he and the Emperor of Tianmu Kingdom, the Purple Wood Godly King, were close friends. "I've already discussed this matter with Tianmu Kingdom, and they agree," the bald figure stated. "You three, leave quickly." Next to the bald figure was a man in black scale armor, expressionless, but his presence was apprehensively noted by all three, Silver Moon Wolf King included. One of the 6 great venerables of the Destruction Army, Dark Sky Venerable, they naturally recognized. The strongest force in Tianmu Kingdom was that Pinnacle Sector Beast. That Sector Beast gave birth to a vast Destruction Army. The Destruction Army's strength ranged from high to low, with the highest being the 6 great venerables. Each venerable's strength could rival that of Emperor Gui Shu and Wuxin God King. 6 venerables, 18 generals, 36 leaders. All were Godly King tier fighters within the Destruction Army. Even the weakest of the army leaders was considered at the limit of the first realm of Godly King. "So what if it's Dark Sky Venerable?" Silver Moon God King sneered. "If all 6 venerables from your Destruction Army came at once, I'd turn tail and leave immediately. But just you alone." Chemph. He had served half-outraged monarchs, so why would he fear a single venerable from the Destruction Army? "Cold Forest Country Lord, you're overextending your strength by trying to claim Sha Kingdom. It will backfire on you," added Sea Demon God King. Luo Feng had originally planned to wait a day before taking action, but who would have thought that as soon as dawn broke, some powerful beings couldn't wait any longer. Silver Moon God King has taken action with Sea Demon God King and Tianyi God King, and the Cold Forest Country Lord has brought out Dark Sky Venerable from the Destruction Army of Tianmu Kingdom. Luo Feng nodded slightly. "They have all made their move, so it's only right that I do so too." Whoosh, 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 whoosh. In an instant, 5 silver-clothed Luo Fengs moved at once. Each silver-clothed Luo Feng contained roughly 1% of the World Life Bodhisattva's energy reserve. This also equated to about 30% of the perfect divine body's energy reserve. It was already terrifyingly powerful. If Luo Feng had the will at the ultimate realm of a God King, even with an expansive soul foundation, controlling these 5 avatars, each could only exert 50 to 60% of their strength. But with will beyond God King level, Luo Feng could easily manage his true body. Each of these 5 avatars could envelop a territory range of 50 to 60 primal chaos prefectures, with their inner world at the center. Yet, with the Life Lotus, the World Life Body's true body could cover around 300 primal chaos prefectures. At this moment, with just a thought, the power of the world was already spreading throughout Sha Kingdom. Rumble tilde 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 tilde. The entire region of Sha Kingdom was engulfed. The terrifying power of the world spread everywhere, suppressing all directions, naturally including the Silver Moon God King, Sea Demon God King, Tianyi God King, as well as the Cold Forest Country Lord and Dark Sky Venerable of the Destruction Army. Ah! All 5 felt the immense oppressive force bearing down on them, and their expressions changed slightly. "I am Luo He." Within the range engulfed by the power of the world, all creatures felt a shiver. A grandiose voice echoed through every city and wilderness. "From this moment on, Sha Kingdom falls under the Blade River Sect's rule. Do any of you 5 have an objection?" 5 silver-clothed Luo Fengs appeared above the Eta King's capital, looking down at the 5 Second Realm God Kings below. "Luo He is so domineering." Silver Moon Godly King, Sea Demon Godly King, Tianyi Godly King, Cold Forest Country Lord, and Dark Sky Venerable were all somewhat dumbfounded. They were all in the second realm of Godly King, and there was even a venerable from the Destruction Army among them. Luo He Godly King didn't take them seriously at all. intending to completely monopolize the entire territory of Sha Kingdom and even asked them if they had any objections. Luo He, you are being too domineering. Cold Forest Country Lord rebuked angrily. He was a close friend of the Purple Wood Godly King from Tianmu Kingdom, and most forces on the land of origin had to show him some respect. Dark Sky Venerable looked on with a cold gaze, merely observing Luo Feng. Luo He Godly King, we five are here, and yet you want to monopolize the entirety of Sha Kingdom? Isn't that too much? Silver Moon Godly King spoke. I think we can discuss this properly and divide Sha Kingdom among us, each of us taking a part. Silver Moon Godly King had realized that the situation was turning unfavorable. Dark Sky Venerable was already immensely strong and represented the Destruction Army. Luo He had just become a godly king and could contend with the Emperor of Tian Kuan. Now, he was in the second realm of Godly King, and his strength was unpredictable. Silver Moon Godly King no longer harbored hopes of monopolizing Sha Kingdom alone. Cold Forest Country and Blade River Sect are neighbors of Sha Kingdom, each having only one in the second realm of Godly King. The 30 primal chaos prefectures adjacent to you belong to you, Silver Moon Godly King proposed. The remaining primal chaos prefectures belong to the three of us in the second realm. How about that? 135 primal chaos prefectures, and Luo He and I each get 30, but you want to take 75? Cold Forest Country Lord laughed bitterly. Silver Moon, aren't your hopes too high? We three godly kings in the second realm, averaging 20 to 30 primal chaos prefectures each, it's not too much, Silver Moon Godly King reasoned. Cold Forest Country is a second-rate country as is, gaining some primal chaos prefectures this time is already tremendous. Tian Yi Godly King frowned as he spoke. I want at least 50 primal chaos prefectures, said Cold Forest Country Lord. At the level of the second realm of Godly King, when they couldn't overpower each other, negotiations usually decided the division of interests. Gentlemen. 5 silver-clothed Luo Feng stood in the distance, looking at them. I made myself clear, the entire territory of Sha Kingdom belongs to Blade River Sec. There's no room for negotiation. Silver Moon Godly King and Cold Forest Country Lord, who had already begun negotiating, were shocked and turned towards Luo Feng. If you disagree, old rules apply, strength will decide, Luo Feng said, looking at them. You can invite as many friends as you like. For every friend you invite, I'll send an avatar. One-on-one guaranteed. Arrogant. That Luo He. Silver Moon Godly King and Cold Forest Country Lord were each furious. This Luo He was too excessive, aiming to monopolize everything, not even leaving them a drop of soup. Finally, I'll give you 10 breaths to consider. If you don't leave, I'll make my move, the 5 silver-clothed Luo Feng said coldly, watching them. The confrontation within the territory of Sha Kingdom, gathering 6 godly kings in the second realm, naturally attracted attention from various forces across the land of origin. Cold Forest Country Lord is so mediocre, barely managing to protect his own country. And yet he dreams of occupying a part of Sha Kingdom. Emperor Chu watched from afar, Silver Moon pulling together 2 helpers. They think they can compete with my disciple? In terms of strength, deterrent power, and background, his disciple Luo Feng surpassed both Cold Forest Country Lord and Silver Moon Godly King. In Emperor Chu's view, for his disciple Luo Feng with his current strength, merely occupying the current 20 primal chaos prefectures was deemed too little. Occupying the territory of Sha Kingdom was just barely adequate for Luo Feng's capabilities. But this time, Luo He should reveal some of his strength, Emperor Chu said with a smile, watching. The last time he released Blade Light, he defeated an ordinary godly king in the second realm. It proves his high level. But that clearly wasn't all his strength. With his disciple advancing so fast, Emperor Chu wasn't entirely sure about how powerful his disciple truly was. Since Tian Kuan was killed, his neighbors and Silver Moon Godly King have started scheming to take over his domain. Di Yang also watched from a distance, unconcerned with the struggle over Sha Kingdom's territory. Di Yang cared more about tracking down the murderer who had killed Tian Kuan. The land of origin knows that Tian Kuan was following me. Di Yang's gaze was icy. The murderer didn't care about losing face with me and still killed Tian Kuan and the others. That murderer. With a wave of his hand, an image of a man in a black robe and a golden mask appeared before Di Yang. the man's presence profound, also mixed with great terror. Who exactly are you? Di Yang's brow furrowed. Just from seeing this image, Di Yang instinctively felt a significant threat. In Wind City, the Shadow Sky Realm, the Earth God King, Fire Ancestor, Zhongfu, none of them have posed such a threat to me, Di Yang observed. You're well hidden, but as long as you care about resources, acting repeatedly will ultimately expose you. Di Yang continued to watch the battle. This Luo he has high potential. If left uncontrolled, he might become another Zhongfu. Di Yang watched. It's a pity, Emperor Chu is protecting him, and it seems Di Fu also highly regards Luo he. Di Fu had even assigned Luo Feng to garrison the Heavenly Pillar realm, clearly indicating his stance. As a member of the imperial clan, yet favoring independent cultivators. Di Yang bore hostility toward all independent cultivators, but alas, even if he were in the position of the ancestors of two countries, favoring independent cultivators, he couldn't change it. One by one, powerhouses on the land of origin, including those on good terms with Luo Feng like the Wind City Empress, Emperor Gui Shu, Wuxin Godly King, and Yu Shui Country Master, were watching the battle, as were Di Chuiying and Emperor Chu Yu, who were using the recorded images from Flame Wind Pavilion to watch this confrontation. I wonder how much strength my disciple will reveal this time, said mountain-sitting guest in Thunder Ancient Country, also watching the battle through images recorded by Thunderclap Commerce. At this moment, in the high-altitude area around the capital city of Sha Kingdom, invisible fluctuations were already clashing. The power of the world suppressed the surroundings, and forces of destruction, icy chills, and surging waters all resisted. The three godly kings in the Second Realm and Cold Forest Country Lord and Dark Sky Venerable were all ready to engage. It wasn't possible that a few words from Luo Feng would make them slink away. Luo he, it's better for all of us if we divide Sha Kingdom together. Silver Moon Godly King continued to speak. 10 breaths are up. All 5 silver-clothed Luo Fengs extended their hands, and a blade light appeared in each palm. This blade light. At first glance, it was pitch black with edges that shimmered in azure blue. Chaos whole undying light. It was nurtured within Luo his inner world. The stronger the inner world, the more blade light it could accumulate, and the chaos whole undying light could be refined to higher levels. After reaching the 24-phase form world life form, the inner worlds of the 5 avatars had become much stronger. Although they weren't as potent as the true body, they all possessed some traits of an ultimate realm life form. With such inner worlds, the might of the chaos whole undying light could be well imagined. The Silver Moon Godly King, along with the 3 others, Cold Forest Country Lord, and Dark Sky Venerable, felt their hearts pound instinctively at the sight of the 5 pitch-black blade lights in the palms of Luo his 5 avatars. Go! 5 silver-clothed Luo Hes released the blade lights simultaneously. Shoo 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 shoo. The moment the 5 pitch-black blade lights were released, they immediately reached the 5 Second Realm Godly Kings. Too fast, impossible to dodge. Puh. In a split second, the Cold Forest Country Lord was bisected from his waist, a look of terror in his eyes. The blade light had swelled enormously, and with the first strike, it immediately obliterated a significant portion of the Cold Forest Country Lord's divine power reserve. The blade light flashed again, continuing to cut through. If it strikes 2 more times, won't I be utterly dead? Terrified, the Cold Forest Country Lord immediately abandoned his true body. His resurrection carrier, far within the borders of Tianmu Kingdom, had already awakened. Chaos whole undying light. Its pursuit was to cut through all things. While it pursued the ultimate sharpness, it was somewhat inferior in terms of erosion and obliteration. Usually, it relied on the blade light slicing multiple times, eroding repeatedly, to completely obliterate a body. This was Luo his kindness. Chaos whole undying light, cutting over and over again, giving the enemy enough time to resurrect through their resurrection carrier. If it were a technique like Great Extinction style, with its overwhelming destructive erosion, a weaker Second Realm Godly King might be obliterated in one move, without even a chance for rebirth. After all, it was just a struggle for territories. There was no need to be too harsh. Moreover, Luo he hadn't planned on revealing the Great Extinction style yet. With his formidable stature, ordinary techniques were sufficient. Like Chaos Whole Undying Light, it was also an integration technique of the 5 major branches, strong enough. Puh. The sea demon Godly King, whose body was comprised of endless water flows, was sliced by a huge blade light, and a portion of his water flow divine power was instantly annihilated. This frightened the sea demon Godly King. Just one hit, and 2/10 of the divine power in this avatar has been destroyed. The sea demon Godly King was shocked. Although it was just one of his ordinary avatars, Luo he had also merely sent an avatar. Both were second realm godly kings, both using avatars, yet the disparity was so vast. Puh. This swath of blade light, condensed from endless blade lights, inherently had a terrifying energy reserve and self-recovery ability. It moved extremely quickly, continuously slaying. How terrifying is this blade light? In the blink of an eye, this body of the sea demon Godly King was completely obliterated. Silver Moon, Luo he is too strong. Let's withdraw. The true body of sea demon Godly King, far away, sent a causation transmission. Puh. The body of the Tianyi Godly King flickered ethereally, and in the moment he was hit, he escaped trillions of kilometers away. But the pursuing blade light flashed and had already caught up, sweeping across his ethereal body again. Ha ha ha. The ethereal body of Tianyi Godly King flickered repeatedly, eerily elusive. But the swath of blade light completely locked on him, persistently pursuing and attacking. Silver Moon, let's withdraw. This Luo he is too frightening, Tianyi Godly King transmitted before saying, I'm running first. Subsequently, the avatar of Tianyi Godly King, having already lost over half of its divine power reserve, vanished in a flash, completely leaving the vast surrounding territory. Luo his Chaos Whole Undying Light could no longer find the target. Tianyi Godly King traversed the origin Tao of the infinite. If truly fleeing long distances, Chaos Whole Undying Light couldn't lock on. Within the range covered by the power of Luo his world, that was the actionable range for the Chaos Whole Undying Light. Brother Sea Demon's avatar is destroyed, Tianyi's avatar escaped. Silver Moon Godly King was in his true body, his massive true body contending against the terrifying blade light before him. This swath of blade light cut everything. Again and again, it left massive wounds on Silver Moon's body, eroding and damaging the body of the Silver Moon Godly King. But the wounds on Silver Moon Godly King also healed rapidly. This blade light. Dark Sky Venerable stood there, the blade light striking his body's black scale armor, merely causing 1 or 2 black scales to shatter, but they healed in an instant. Dark clouds rose around the Dark Sky Venerable, attempting to entangle the blade light. But the blade light, much faster than the movement of the Godly Kings, rapidly and unpredictably sliced through the body of the Dark Sky Venerable, each time a few scales shattering then rapidly healing. Now, only you two are left. 5 silver-clothed Luo Hes looked at Dark Sky Venerable and Silver Moon Godly King. Luo he also sensed the difference in strength. Dark Sky Venerable was indeed the most terrifying existence in the Destruction Army. His own Chaos Whole Undying Light was merely tickling him. Silver Moon Godly King's strength was mediocre, unable to withstand his Chaos Whole Undying Light, but his body's life force was exceedingly tenacious. Go! Luo he waved his hand. 5 pitch-black blade lights simultaneously assaulted Silver Moon Godly King. 5 attacking me. Silver Moon Godly King's expression changed. He couldn't even block one swift, elusive blade light, only able to withstand it forcefully. 5 blade lights ganging up. This Luo he is not easy to mess with. Silver Moon Godly King clenched his teeth, instantly turning into a streak of light diving into the void, even though he was instantly hit by dozens of strikes from the 5 blade lights' collaborative attack, scattering hair and blood into the sky. Yet, Silver Moon Wolf King still forcefully escaped. He didn't want the territory of the Eater King anymore. With Luo he Godly King as a neighbor, he couldn't defend his territory. Dark Sky Venerable, only you are left now. The 5 silver-clothed Luo Hes, watching the Silver Moon Godly King, smiled faintly. All 5 blade lights returned, being absorbed back into their inner worlds. Huyang City, Morosa also looked toward the direction of the Eater King's capital from afar. Something's amiss. the life of the dark sky venerable, doesn't quite align with the direction of nurturing an inner world. As a God King second realm beast, Morosa had a certain perception of the abilities possessed by the pinnacle sector beast and could even nurture an army right now. However, he refrained from doing so only to conceal his identity. Therefore, as he observed the figure of the dark sky venerable, Morosa sensed something was wrong and immediately used telepathy to contact Luo Feng, Master. A pinnacle sector beast can nurture a powerful destruction army, which should be able to produce warriors stronger than itself. Sector beasts are very balanced in all aspects. Destruction army leans more towards combat, Morosa transmitted telepathically. An army nurtured by a pinnacle sector beast must first have a commander, who could be called the Destruction Emperor, governed by 18 generals and 36 leaders. The Destruction Emperor is the most perfect ultimate realm warrior, inferior to sector beasts in terms of survival but stronger in combat. I feel that the life of the Dark Sky Venerable is incomplete. The fusion of 6 Venerables should be the Destruction Emperor, Morosa transmitted. As a part of the Destruction Emperor, the life form should be immensely strong. Master, you must be careful. Luo Feng heard Morosa's telepathic message. Good heavens! The sector beast of Qianmu Kingdom was too low profile, splitting the most terrifying leader of the destruction army into 6 venerables. Luo He. The Dark Sky Venerable looked at Luo Feng and smiled. Your talent is indeed remarkable, but a mere avatar of yours is no threat to me. Send up all 5 of your avatars. The previous 4 god kings of the second realm, the Dark Sky Venerable had not considered a threat. Even the Silver Moon God King, whose strength was on par with the Emperor of Qian Kuan, the Dark Sky Venerable ignored. All 5 together? 5 silver-clothed Luo Fengs looked at him. No need. One silver-clothed Luo Feng stood there, his silver robe rapidly spreading to transform into an endless silver river. This vast silver river swept across trillions of kilometers, enveloping heaven and earth, and trapped the Dark Sky Venerable. Annihilate. The silver-clothed Luo Feng stood amidst the vast river. The river trapped and corroded the Dark Sky Venerable. This corrosive power was clearly stronger than the previous chaotic whole undying light, causing the scale armor on the body of the Dark Sky Venerable to shatter and reveal the green flesh beneath. The flesh was being eroded. This corrosive power? The Dark Sky Venerable was a bit surprised. It has the essence of my path of destruction, possessing extensive destructiveness, and the matter forming this river is terrifying. Each portion of force is filled with endless vitality, constantly corroding and wearing away my physical body. The killing techniques Luo Feng employed at this phase included the Star Tower, will beyond God King level, 24 phase form world life, and Great Extinction style. The previous chaotic whole undying light belonged to a powerful move of the second realm of God King. Thus, employing the corrosive technique with his physical body now truly displayed the terrifying aspect of his physical body. What? It can actually cause the Dark Sky Venerable light injuries? This Luo, his river domain, is so terrifyingly corrosive. Observers from all around the land of origin were shocked. This Dark Sky Venerable's technique realm is slightly inferior to mine. But its physical body is still superior to mine. Emperor Gui Shu watched the scene. Luo, his brotherly domain's erosion caused the Dark Sky Venerable light injuries. If I were in his place, my injuries might even be more severe. What a terrifying domain. Wuxin God King also secretly marveled. Even someone with my movement technique prowess can only flee faced with such a vast domain. No matter how powerful one's movement or escape skills are, the domain is a large spanning cover. Anyone daring to fight Luo Feng at close range is bound to be eroded by the domain. This domain's prowess made everyone acknowledge Luo Feng's strength. Boom! The Dark Sky Venerable moved. Despite the hindrance of the endless river, his speed remained extraordinarily fast, breaking through all obstructions of the river, heading straight for that silver-clothed Luo Feng avatar. Destroy. As the Dark Sky Venerable charged forward, he also unleashed a punch. This punch affected the operational rules of heaven and earth, locking onto Luo Feng's avatar completely, unavoidable, with an endless horrifying force bearing down. Yet Luo Feng responded with a palm strike like a blade, slashing forward. This strike was like a great sun appearing between heaven and earth. This great sun collided directly with the punch. Blast tilde tilde tilde. The terrifying force from the collision swept across all directions and even impacted towards the nearby Eta King's capital. Countless cultivators in the Eta King's capital were utterly terrified, feeling as though death was descending. Woo tilde tilde tilde. The galaxy shrouded all around, completely restraining the collateral force. The dark sky venerable still stood in his original place after the punch, only a few scales fractured on his fist. But Luo Feng was sent flying backward before he could stabilize, his right hand dripping with blood. My physical body is slightly inferior to his, and so is the realm of techniques. Luo Feng realized the gap between them upon clashing. This avatar was just 1% of the world life body's true body's energy reserve, still slightly inferior when compared to the dark sky venerable. Boom! In the vast silver river, the dark sky venerable charged and rushed towards Luo Feng relentlessly, as Luo Feng used him as a whetstone, repeatedly testing his own techniques. Luo Feng studied the deep secret patterns of the Star Tower, life, destruction, integration of life and death. He gained insights. Although not as perfect as the Great Extinction style, it was still quite formidable. Now he tested it in actual combat. The Dark Sky Venerable, deemed the darling of the Path of Destruction origin, continuously pressed Luo Feng hard with various techniques. The two fought for a moment, exchanging hundreds of moves. Even a mere avatar of Luo He, his physical body is only slightly weaker than mine. Dark Sky Venerable was secretly alarmed. Moreover, his vitality is even more terrifying than mine. Even after so much fighting, his divine power reserve hasn't diminished at all. Neither's energy reserves had been spent. This was the result of a terrifyingly powerful physical body. I can't always be helping the Cold Forest Country Lord guard his territory. This Sha kingdom will ultimately fall to Luo He. Dark Sky Venerable realized this fact. However, I can't let my destruction army lose its prestige. Dark Sky Venerable's eyes turned cold, and a long stick appeared in his hand. It was a God King ultimate realm weapon. For Tianmu Kingdom, it was difficult to procure a weapon beyond the God King level. However, weapons and secret treasures of the God King Ultimate Realm level were still accessible. Each of the 6 great venerables possessed one such suitable weapon of the Ultimate Realm. Rip! As soon as the stick in Dark Sky Venerable's hand swept out, it instantly tore open the heavens and the earth, creating a small, finger-wide fissure in the membrane wall of the source world. The fissure extended all the way to Luo Feng's avatar. Puff! Luo Feng's physical body was torn open with a huge wound. Ultimate Realm Technique. Luo Feng realized in the moment he was hit that Dark Sky Venerable's skill with his own techniques was slightly inferior, but with the aid of a God King Ultimate Realm weapon, he unleashed an even more horrifying power. His godly body takes this hit, and the energy expenditure seems negligible. Dark Sky Venerable was startled. This scene also alarmed many strong beings of the land of origin. Luo He, already powerful at the first realm of Godly King in terms of his physical body, has now reached the second realm. His physical body has become even more formidable. Emperor Di Yang was secretly alarmed. In the land of origin, there are few who can kill Luo He now. Emperor Qing, Emperor Ming might be able to completely eliminate Luo He. But I am no longer capable. Emperor Di Yang disliked this feeling, but the reality was right in front of him. Even a single avatar of Luo He was tremendously difficult to deal with. Completely destroying his many hidden avatars seemed nearly impossible. Good. Emperor Chu, however, was quite delighted. My disciple has exceptional talent. What he needs now is time. Given enough time to grow, I believe he might face the emperors directly in the future, Emperor Chu thought. His current disciple, besides being tough and resilient, was still naive in his techniques. He hadn't grasped a single Ultimate Realm secret technique nor possessed any powerful secret treasures. Yet, solely with such a formidable physical body, emperors and monarchs too must now take Luo He seriously. Dark Sky Venerable, I too have a weapon. Please give this a try. Luo Feng extended his hand, and the Bloodshadow knife appeared in it. The Bloodshadow knife, as a God King Ultimate Realm blade embryo with secret patterns needing Luo Feng's own inscription, was originally intended for Luo Feng to imprint primarily with patterns of destruction, since the path of life and death wasn't systematic yet. The path of destruction had guidance from a special grade inheritance. However, After observing the deeper secret patterns within the Star Tower, Luo Feng changed his mind. The secret patterns inside the Star Tower were systematic and could perfectly complement each other. Luo Feng contemplated this. He began integrating the comprehensible secret patterns of life and destruction into the Blood Shadow Knife. The Blood Shadow Knife could be said to be a super-simplified version of the Star Tower, primarily based on patterns of life and destruction, complementing each other. Buzz. Luo Feng held the Blood Shadow Knife, its blade light terrifyingly formidable. Slash. The secret patterns in the blade, inscribed by himself, were naturally easy to invoke, allowing him to perfectly wield the fearsome might of the Blood Shadow Knife. The blade reached Dark Sky Venerable in an instant, who disdainfully didn't dodge and instead countered with a swing of his stick. The blade edge and the long stick collided. Boom. Dark Sky Venerable, astonished, felt the heaviness of the blow, even surpassing his stick technique. His stick technique contained many characteristics of the path of destruction, but Luo Feng's blade, its only character was heaviness. Extremely heavy. Dark Sky Venerable forcefully endured it with his strong body. Neither moved in midair. This strike, though, was equal in power. God King Ultimate Realm Weapon, and you can wield it. Dark Sky Venerable looked at Luo Feng. Impressive, impressive. Harnessing a God King Ultimate Realm Weapon to perform its ultimate techniques was not easy, as it required understanding the mysteries of the weapon's secret treasures. My blade technique relies on heaviness to win, yet it couldn't make you, Dark Sky Venerable, step back. I am still considerably weaker. Luo Feng observed him. You've won. Dark Sky Venerable coldly glanced at Luo Feng, and this is just one of your avatars. Aware that he stood no chance against even an avatar, Dark Sky Venerable knew he had lost. Instantly, he stepped forward and traversed the void, returning to Tianmu Kingdom. At this moment, the various strong beings across the land of origin who witnessed this battle finally realized just how terrifying Luo He God King really was. Even more daunting than Emperor Gui Shu, Wuxin God King. Perhaps only under the Wind City Empress, Mother River Master, and possibly comparable to Pu Xin, Time-Space Lonely Boats Boatmaster, Yu Fu God King. This video will end here.